is getting a plan of action in place. So, does anybody have anything else to elaborate on that before we start digging into this topic?
No,
I can
not yet.
just back what you said, Brian, that a plan is really good, and then once
Hmm.
the plan is done, to work the plan.
Yeah,
Exactly, I agree.
yeah. And
It
and the other
works.
and the other side of that is if you're just getting started and this may be the first time that you've been working on your own, and this may be totally foreign to you. I mean, if you have had a traditional job, they'll they'll tell you what to do, and if you don't do it, they'll usually tell you that you need to go.
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
so this is different. You can set your own program. Um, so I had a few key points to touch on with this, but I guess again to emphasize to kind of go back and look at the results. When I look at the referral partners activity, and I'm just going to pull up some numbers from last month. You can see that when somebody clicks on a referral partner's website and what they're earning for commissions, on the low end, it breaks down to like 25 cents for every time somebody clicks on an individual, a referral partner's link. And like for the work that Charles does and the work that Kathy does, it's up in the 40 cent, 50 cents for each click. So if you break it
Cool.
down, so this could be a way that you could kind of back into your business plan. You could say, okay, well, how many articles am I going to place? Am I getting into, well, let's even back up, right, Kathy? When we did the Facebook training, you want to get
Hmm.
into groups first, right?
Hmm. Right,
Create your
right,
rapport.
right. Build
So
trust.
build trust. And that's in the first training step that we have. And so I'm jumping around here a little bit. Um,
That's okay.
and so up here under files, it's this it's number two actually. Get started. So you can come in here and see the whole program if you're new or just checking us
Hmm.
out. And so you want to get involved in your groups, and then you want to be posting in your groups and creating value. Correct me if I'm wrong at any of these steps.
You're
So,
right. I just want to say real quick, when you say posting, the training there that we put in there really means responding to other people's posts and empathizing with them and then sharing that you understand. Don't start out immediately posting articles.
mhm, okay. So basically, follow the direction of the training that Kathy has done, and others have contributed to this. Uh, and the point that I want to make is take a look at what is involved in doing that. And then, if it was me breaking this down from the very beginning, I would look at the time that's involved, um,
Hmm.
and then kind of map it out. So for goal planning for me, I don't know how others do it, but it's just like how I eat my food. I do the worst first. Um, you know, when I look at my plate, people criticize me, but I grew up with a family and we had a garden and we had lots of vegetables that I didn't like and I had to eat them. So so, I mean, I would be getting those Brussels sprouts off my plate right away. So for business, I approach it the same way. In the morning, when I get up, I have tasks that are challenging, that require a lot of, really energy from me. So I do those first. And
Hmm.
that could be one simple thing when looking at it at your day, to prioritize what's going to make a difference in your business. So
Hmm.
let's just pause on that thought. I don't know how people organize their day, their tasks. Any participants want to contribute to this?
Well,
I
I do. I'm sorry. Is that Alan?
That's Alan.
Good morning, Alan. Go ahead.
Good morning. I was just going to say I agree with Brian on doing the most difficult or the most unpleasant
Hmm.
task first and getting that out of the way. then the rest of it is more fun and easier to do. So you actually accomplish the whole task instead of stopping it where you don't want to do that.
Right,
that
and that's really important with those of us who are on disabilities, which I think is all of us here, who don't always feel well. I know if I wake up feeling good, a half hour or an hour later, I could be slammed with pain and fatigue. So I try to knock out the one, like Brian said, that's going to be most important to my business that day. I knock that one out and get that done just in case.
Okay,
I agree.
and so let's go back and look at it this way. If we are looking at step 2 of training, working in Facebook, what would those tasks be? If
Well, the first thing I do is I go through my notifications, because from the time I shut down my computer the night or the day before till the morning when I log it back onto Facebook, I've got most of the time an average of 60 notifications to go through. And I look
Did you
through
say
every one of
60?
them. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
That just shows you how active I am on Facebook. Because anytime I post in a group to respond to someone else or myself posting, I'm getting responses back. And they might not all refer to me. Obviously, they're not going to all refer directly to me, but particularly if they're people talking about disability at all or health issues, I go back and I want to make sure that I'm following those. And in my work that I'm doing on Facebook, I see some of our referral partners are missing messages and posts. And because I'm not in the closed and public groups that you are, I'm seeing them in community groups, which I want you guys not to forget about those. They're important too. But that's the first thing I do, Brian. First, I want to say the first thing I do, because I know it helps me, I get up as if I have a real job I'm going outside to. I get up and I have my coffee, and I maybe watch the news for a few minutes. I get my shower, and I get dressed. Because if I don't do that, I tend to feel like I'm not sitting down to work, to really have a job to work at. That helps me. And then I log on Facebook, and I go through my notifications first. And then as they build through the day, I just glance through them to see if there's anything I need to respond to right away so I don't lose somebody. Otherwise, then I just start posting whatever disability, whatever health issue I've chosen that day, for instance, fibromyalgia or chronic pain or depression, whatever it is. And then I've got a goal to post in so many groups that day. And I particularly like the community groups that I think are being neglected because, as I said before, I can sit down, and if I don't have a bunch of windows open that are distracting me, and if I mute my computer so I don't hear the dings coming through every time someone makes a notification or messaging me, I try and knock that out. And if I can do that, I can literally sit down and post anywhere from 50 to 75 posts, the same post in 50 to 75 groups in an hour, and just by simply copy and pasting. And then I feel like that is the best way to get my day going. I've got a lot done already.
So to address this, let me just kind of back up a little bit. If you have 60 notifications, would you liken a notification to an email, or are they more urgent in that somebody may have replied back to a post? And
no, none of those are email. These are all notifications on Facebook, meaning someone, for instance, maybe the day before I responded to somebody's just not feeling well or whatever. I've responded just to be active in the group, to get my face and name out there. And I want to tell you guys that I keep posting these tips on the page for you, so I hope you're seeing them. All 60 of those notifications, a majority of them are not going to be of interest to me, but I need to go look to be sure. And if that notification, that comment someone else is making, maybe I don't want to keep getting everybody else's comments on that one, then you can click on the little downward arrow and you can turn those notifications off for that particular post so you don't keep getting those. So I do that. But these are all notifications on Facebook. And like I said, the majority of them are not going to be of any interest to me. But if you don't check through them, you're going to miss a nugget that you're going to want to use to help somebody.
Okay, so go ahead, Alan.
Does that make
Okay, I was just going to ask, I try to respond to every respond to any of my comments or any of the posts that I've commented
Oh,
on.
absolutely. If somebody's responding to one of your posts or your comments, you do want to acknowledge every one of those and respond to those. If nothing else, just thank them.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I try to respond to most of the other posts as well.
Just keep in mind, as you start building more and more groups, I mean, I've been doing this a year, so I obviously have a lot of groups. I
Right.
have a lot of groups in all closed, public, and community. So I'm careful not to respond to every one because I'm just going to keep getting, I'll wake up and have over 100 notifications.
Right.
So
I,
you
I
have to
realize
choose.
when I
Yeah,
can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that makes sense. That's
But for now,
how I
since
get my day going.
since I'm new, I'm trying to just get as
Right.
involved in all the groups as I can.
Sure. Glad you're doing that.
Well, let me ask you this, Kathy. If, let's say, in working your business, setting your plan and your goals,
Mm-hmm.
if you were to just post and not respond, what type of an impact would that have on your business?
A huge impact. I may as well shut down my business.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would get some notification. I mean, you would get notifications that people are still clicking on some of my links, but nothing like, as Dawn has always said, I always have that personal touch and I'm involved with people. A lot of people chat with me because they trust me, and of course I've had a year to build that trust, but I mean, I did that from my second month in.
Right.
But if I did not respond, that would be a huge failure on my part.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted to hear. All right.
Exactly.
So that helps, hopefully that helps others understand how to plan their day and to prioritize that you want to address any messages that you have and then go about your proactive posting, right?
I want to say something here first, Brian. Yeah. At the end of April, I sat down and I wrote on my day planner for the month of May. My goal for the month is to get 20 interviews with one of Brian's representatives.
Mm-hmm.
And the most I've gotten so far is 18 in a month. I average about 15 in a month. And last month I got 12, which was, I was disappointed in myself, but I was having computer issues. So that kind of held me back a little. And then, so I've got my goal down for the month. And then every evening before I shut my computer down, I go to my day planner. I almost bet you Carol does this too. And then I have written down on my day planner what I want to do the next day. So, I'll have, first of all, I want to check my notifications. And next I'll say that since it's the beginning of the month, I'm going to put new ads on Craigslist. I do that at the beginning of every month. And I'm going to put that, I want to post in at least 20 groups for chronic pain. I've got it written down and I check it off. And at the end of the day, I can see what I got done. And of course, you're going to get interruptions throughout the day. But I always put the most important at the top of the list, like you were saying. So when I knock them out, when I shut my computer down in the afternoon or the evening, whatever it is, I can relax and just watch TV or crochet because I feel like I've done something beneficial for my business, helping somebody.
Right. So if you were to put some time assessment to it, responding to 60 messages and posting in the amount of groups that you're doing, I mean, I'm kind of getting 2 hours plus of time. Is that right?
Yeah, because there is a lot of, I'm up and down throughout the day from my computer. And, yeah, so I would say in the total, I probably am actually working, you're right, probably about 2.5 hours a day. But it's just spread out throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if I feel good on weekends, I felt good Saturday. I felt really good. So I worked hard on Saturday. I did a lot Saturday. Because I knew Sunday or Monday, I might not feel like doing anything.
Right. Okay. So is that helpful for others? 2.5, even if it's 3 hours a day of planning, with some planning in there. You can develop a nice work schedule, even if you did that 4 days a week. So the advocate team that we have that calls the members that you bring in, most of them are on a 4-day work week, and they're usually working 3 to 4 hours a day.
And they're on disability too, right? They're disabled as well.
Right. Yeah. So, and that works for them, and it allows them to have a nice casual pace And I think that's one of the reasons why the tenure, they've been around for a while.
Mhm.
It's got to be something other than working with me, I expect. But so I guess it just in this concept of planning, put something together that's realistic for you is what
Mhm.
I'm suggesting, both from an achievement standpoint and also from your health, so that
Mhm.
you're not putting yourself in a compromised situation where you're trying to do too
Right.
much.
Yeah,
Right.
Brian, just on that note, I think uh, a possible way of approaching it is to look at what Kathy and Charles are doing and to say, okay, I'm going to start doing 1/4 of that. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's not overwhelming. And then, if you do 1/4 of that and you get into the habit of doing it, then you can
Right.
increase it to half of what Kathy's doing, and then 3/4, and
Mhm.
then 100%, and
Right.
then 150%.
Yeah, that's right. Like I said, probably for several months I was doing maybe I started out getting like 8, 9 a month
Mm-hmm.
interviews, and that increased to like 12 to 15, and then I kind of averaged out for several months about an average of 15 a month, and then I know I did like 18 last month or month before, so now I know I'm just increasing it slightly to 20 this month is my goal, and if I go over that, awesome, but that's my goal to get at least that because I really feel I can,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm able to do it much quicker than I used to, like Don was saying, you get more proficient at it, efficient.
What I try to do since I'm new is I try to put in 2 hours a day, um,
Hmm.
trying to find new groups and
Right.
uh, reply to the groups that I'm already in.
Right.
Uh,
Exactly.
but I'm still having a little bit of difficulty finding groups. I don't know why. I
I
know
can
there's
help with that. Actually, I have a bunch of keywords that when we began last year, I posted them, but they're way down through the page. So I actually have that on my day planner to put together some keywords and give in the files for you guys that will make it
wonderful.
really easy to find more groups. Really
Oh,
easy.
Alan,
If I'm finding 50 to 75 groups a day to post in, you know that I've learned that trick.
right,
right.
right.
Alan, a question for you. When you're looking for groups and you say that you're having difficulty with it, does that mean that you're not finding the groups, or you're finding the groups which are already taken by Kathy or by others?
Well, it's a combination of both, Brian. When I don't know, I guess it's the same on everybody. When I'm in a group, on the right-hand side, it always shows other pages you might like.
Yes, on the public and closed ones. They're on the left.
On the left.
Hmm.
Okay.
You're right, though.
But yeah, so a lot of times I click on those to see.
Hmm.
Kathy is in my friend list, so her
Right, so
face,
I'll show up for you.
yeah, her face pops up, and I go, oh darn, there's Kathy again.
And because I know, sorry guys, I know you guys say that all the time to yourself. I have no doubt, but I've earned those groups. Trust me, over the last year. And Charles the same. I'm sure he's got a lot too. But again, I know that there are a lot more out there, and I will help you find them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I know there are too. It's
Hmm.
just a matter of using, like you said, the right keywords
Yeah.
or
Well, there's a
whatever.
lot of different tricks, yeah. I mean, over the weekend, I'm like, gosh, I kept telling myself as I sat on my bed with my laptop and kind of multitasking as women are good at doing, and watching TV and texting and whatever. I thought, okay, I'm going to keep doing this till I can't find any more on this subject. Well, it went on for hours. So
Yeah,
I'm like, wow. Yes.
So,
exactly.
so perhaps donating or dedicating some time to
Hmm.
um, finding groups would be a
Right. Yeah. Sounds like
helpful
it.
event. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, because right now I have like 7 groups, but I only have 2 that are really going to do me any good.
Okay.
So
Right. Yeah,
yeah,
you
so
want to
I'm,
look
I'm
over the group and see if it's going to be a group that's going to allow you to post. I mean, look at their rules, but look down through the page because some admins have the group set up that you can't post freely, that they do all the posting or that they have to approve your
yeah.
post or whatever. So you have to look at all that. It might not be a
Oh,
group you want to be in.
I may be doing something wrong, but what I've been finding is until I join the group, I can't see
That's
what
right.
the rules
That's how
are
that is the
or
case
see
with
the
all
posting.
closed and public groups. Yeah, that is the case for everybody.
Yeah. So, and some of them I want to stay in because they're helpful to disabled people. So I want to
Sure.
stay for that reason. But as far as getting business, they're not going to be any good because the rules
Right.
say you can't post anything. So,
There's a lot of other groups. You don't even have to stay in those. So, um,
All right. Good. So we've perhaps identified something that we could be a better service to helping individuals find groups, and that would reduce, possibly eliminate a barrier. So I made a note of that.
I did too.
We could even do it next week. If you could bump up that post again, then I can put it on the agenda. We'll
Okay.
open that for discussion next week with a demo would be ideal.
Okay, got it on my day plan.
Um, okay, so great. So we've uncovered a few things. We've got the tasks that you need to do, estimated amount of time that you need to do it, and the other thing that I look at in business, once you kind of get that defined in a game plan in place, and I'm sure if you wanted to discuss this with others or bring your plan up, or you know, there's a bunch of people here that would be willing to help you. So,
Hmm.
but the other thing that for me, when you're working and when you're in business and doing things like this on your own, you're kind of on an island, right? It's not like you're going into an office where you've got a big group of people that you can collaborate with. So, and even if you did, my point is, I still feel that it is important to invest time in yourself, so that you can continue to learn, educate, uh, stay motivated. The only one that's going to keep you motivated is yourself. Um,
Hmm.
so I was thinking before I came in here today, well, I was kind of going back through my some of the things that I do and the other people that I take ideas from. But when it comes down to it, one of the best ways that I have found to stay tuned in and learn is actually a free service that you can take advantage of. It's called Spotify. Does anybody here use Spotify?
I do.
Do you? Okay. Perhaps you use it for this or something different. If you do, I'd love to hear from you. But Spotify is like Pandora and other music services. And there's a free version of Spotify that you can download. And I'll post a link to Spotify in the replay that I'll put in the group. But the the free version comes with commercials, which are periodic, and if you want to pay $9.95 a month, you can get the premium version with no commercials. But either way, you can come in and you can search on different topics. Like I just have this one up here, which is Brian Tracy, who has the 7 habits that he's kind of built his career around. But there's hours of audio in here, and what you can do is you can create playlists. Um, so I have one that's just titled Self Improve, and I've just stashed interviews in here that you can come back to. Oh, it's firing up. That you can come back to and re-listen to. Like one of my favorites is a Bill Gates, Warren Buffett interview that they did, and I even have Martin Luther King stuff in here. The whole Think and Grow Rich book from Earl Nightingale, all its chapters are all available on Spotify for free. So it's one easy way to learn, and this really does have to do with planning because you could pick up just one idea from a Bill Gates or a Les Brown that could help you with your communication that you're doing, for example, or help you with your planning. and just make a difference so that you can work less and earn more and be more efficient at what you do. So,
Cool.
yeah, yeah. And people get inspired by other, it doesn't have to be motivational stuff. It could be the Grateful Dead or Fish or Rolling Stones or, whatever it is. So, yeah, yeah. I mean, you can, if you're a music buff, if you haven't been in here, you can pull up just about anything obscure music from, like Lucky Dubé, who was a South African reggae guru that got, he was unfortunately shot and killed at an early age, but his music was phenomenal. So, I mean, just all kinds of stuff. So have some fun with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know I usually have Pandora on real quietly. I'll put a nice quiet station on when I'm posting in the groups and stuff, and it's relaxing, and it's not, if it doesn't put you to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Pandora too, but this is cool. I'll check
Sure.
that out.
Sure. Yeah, the other one that I've would also recommend is Tim Ferriss, who runs a podcast, and he is the author of the 4-Hour Work Week, TIMFERRIS, and he interviews some of the most inspiring people that are out there, and again, it's free. All of them are, just go to timferriss.com and then navigate through, and you'll end up it's all available on iTunes, or if you have an iTunes account, then you can just type in Tim Ferriss.
Okay.
So yeah.
Hmm.
So those are a couple of tips for you. So that's the general theme that I wanted to share, just to do what we can to help you folks out, because one of my goals this year is to have at least a 10% monthly increase in the commissions and the volume of members that we can get through the process for the referral partner team. So I have my goals to help you reach your goals.
Good. Brian, did we do better in March or April? Which one was our better month?
We did better in March. We were on track. I mean, the first 2.5 weeks was when most of the business happened in April, and then
oh yeah, I remember.
I don't know what happened. So
I don't know. I mean, yeah, March. I think the first week I already had 10 in. Some weeks go like that, but
yeah. Well, actually, sorry to interrupt, but in looking at it, which kind of brought me back to this goal concept, I do know it happened. It was just the activity level just dropped off. The activity level for the first 2.5 weeks was good, and as I had reported in one of the recent meetings, is the number of members that have come in and those that went through the disability approval process was a fantastic percentage. So it's just a matter of doing more. That's really it. And so.
Well, I think a lot of that, I think, is related to what Charles and I do. We literally chat with people, and we get that connection, and so that's helping us get more registered. Because one, they trust us, but two, because sometimes we'll pull up the form ourselves, click on our own link and pull it up. And while we're chatting with them, we'll actually fill out that form for them and submit it, and then the advocates take it from there.
Sure.
I know Charles started doing that some time back too, and I think he found that was helpful.
Yep.
But I want to remind everybody that, like last month, the first week that I opened up and looked in my back office and I saw like I had 10 payouts already, I'm like, wow. Well, let me tell you, that came from the month before, 2 months before, 3 months before, where people are finding my links out there, generally a lot of them in community groups, and they're clicking on them and filling out the registration form. So that's what you call residual income. I did the work once, it was done, and it was coming back to me in forms of new members. Does that make sense? Okay.
Good.
So don't think to yourself, well, gosh, I just spent all day posting articles and posting links and nothing's happening. You'll still get some of them back. And some of them that have registered and gone to Brian and did not make the appointment to talk with one of his reps or did not keep the appointment, wasn't available, some of them will come back eventually too. We don't lose all of them.
Nope. Good.
Keep that in mind.
All right. Well, listen, I'll leave the room open, but I'm gonna sign off.